Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Morgan Price and today we are back in Staioneers and today we are going to go with early forms of pressurization, a little bit of safety, a few things to remember, and then I'm going to show you what happens when you blow out your base. So with that, things to think about. Slow and in stages. Go slow, go in stages. If you have a humongous base, see about pressurizing only one or two rooms at a time. Nice and slow. You don't want to just dump a whole bunch of pressure into the room, especially when you don't know where it's going to go or if it'll be, pardon me, or if it'll be too much. There are warning signs. So when you are about to blow out, things like wall panels will groan. If you're going to burst a pipe, it will make noises. You can recognize them from a mile away if you can hear them that far. So, yeah. If things go sideways, prepare for losses. This actually links up with a few others that I will go into a little bit later, but stuff is going to relocate when you blow out a room. It's just what happens. Don't burst the bubble, but if you do, not all is lost. So, this particular saying here is basically, if you blow out a room, that's okay. Patch it up. You can reclaim gases. There are a couple different ways to get the things you need for life. You can even go over here. A good secondary source of gases is the furnace. So you can take gases from your furnace, cool them down, and use that to pressurize your base. In the game, you don't have to breathe pure oxygen, even though you can. You can have a surprising amount of carbon dioxide and nitrogen in your atmosphere without causing any harm to you. About the only one that you really have to worry about when it comes to that is pollutant. So, I think as long as you have like 10 to 15% oxygen in your air, you should be fine for a while. Then over here, filtration is not constantly needed, or not needed constantly is how I wrote it, but that's the way it is. Filtration, you don't have to filter all the time. You just like especially in a starter base, you walk in with your atmospheric analyzer, check it, and if you have too much of something, just click your filter on, let it run for a few minutes, and go back. And in fact, I actually forgot to include the filter, but there is a portable air scrubber that you get with the lander that does a pretty good job. You just take one of the CO2 filters out of your suit and toss it in there. It'll filter out that. Or if you have a hydraulic pipe bender, you'll be able to manufacture like pollutant filters, things like that. You shouldn't get a lot of pollutant in your building if your production item or your production machines are outside. Alright, so it is faster to think of cooling after you pressurize, but by then it might be too late. So, that leads over here to the greenhouse effect is real. So if you just leave gas in a room and it has no circulation, has nowhere to go when it changes pressure, and it has nothing cooling it, it will heat up. It acts just like a greenhouse. It will turn into a hothouse and you will have temperatures of 140 Celsius. Not sustainable for life for you or for your plants, which is what you want it to be between 20 and 40 degrees Celsius. I think 40 is a little bit too high, but you want to be somewhere between the top end of 40 and the bottom end for you is 10, but you want it somewhere above that. There's something to be said about differently shaped airlocks. Now, if you look at this airlock here, It is the bog standard airlock. Door in through to a door out. But if you want to potentially mitigate losses, say you haven't set up the logic for this or this guy here, and you're still operating off of manually triggering things, a zigzag will help to a degree prevent things from getting shot out of the airlock. And last but not least, don't forget to shut your helmet. You're going to go inside, you're going to pop over open your helmet, have a baked potato, drink a thing of water, run around and do a few things, and when you leave, you're going to cycle that airlock and forget about your helmet. It's not going to kill you. At least if you catch it early enough, it's not going to kill you. But it is going to flash a bunch of alarms at you, so don't forget to shut your helmet. With that, we're going to get into this. Now, mind the mess. There's no pressure inside, so it's going to be all this junk is here specifically to show what's going on. Now, as you can see, there is no temperature in here. The sun is up, so that may help us out. But the first and easiest method to pressurize your base is just take a thing of ice, toss it out. Now, unfortunately, it is way too cold for that to melt in here. Another thing you can do, because you have a waste tank and it's filled with CO2, dump your waste tank into the atmosphere. You could also turn on your jetpack. And is it going to be too warm in here for me to actually do this? It might be, or too cold, I mean. It might be too cold for me to actually get this to melt. So a room of this size only needs 3 stacks of oxide to bring it up to 106 kPa. So it's not that difficult. Now, the next thing is you can directly vent these guys. Now, you can grab an oxygen canister that's loaded up. There's 2 ways to do this. You can just set it down and click the little valve here. It'll blast it open. But setting it down like this, it's going to want to go places. And it's going to want to go places you don't want it to go. So you're just going to open that up. That entire thing probably will only net us about 25, maybe 30 kPa total. No, don't go in there. I want you guys in there. You two. Oh, so we may hit the overpressure much sooner than expected. Okay. Because of the oxide I had and this canister, we're now at a active temperature. So we covered these little guys. Then you have these big guys. Now you get one of these specifically on the lander. You can link them into a tank connector like this, or you can even just open the valve on it and it'll blow out its contents into the atmosphere. There's 2 different ways. Now, for early, you will be able to set up a pressure regulator. You set it to 100 to 102 kPa, turn it on and hook it to one of these guys, and it will run until the room gets that. And what will happen is it will basically fill up these 1 or 2 blocks of that, and as it distributes out, it'll kick. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. It'll kick on and off as needed to maintain the pressure. Now, to prevent overpressurization, which happens as well, we're actually going to, in a moment, set up an overpressurization scenario, but I'm going to wait just a minute for that. What you can do to prevent overpressurization to a degree is get a back pressure regulator, and you can have it to where it links to a passive vent, and you set it for, say, 105 to 110 kPa, and if it gets up to or over 110 kPa, it will draw the atmosphere in until it realizes that is now at or below what you're looking at. So you shouldn't have too much. So this means that when you're on Mars, you can go in and out of your airlock without having to fear eventually blowing out a wall in your base because of overpressure. So toss this guy in here, and this guy, and this guy. We're going to step out here, cycle this. And the only reason I'm doing that is so my demo junk doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to take this guy and stack him in the corner. Put this guy in, and so I'm going to turn this off because the pressure is going to go nowhere, and I'll show you how easy it can be to recover from an overpressurization circumstance. So first things first, we'll grab this guy, and okay. Alright, cool. So this guy has a valve on him. You could open it up and just blow everything out. It'll actually get to the point where it'll blow you around. He holds about 7 MPa approximately. Oh, there's the noise. Open this guy, just give us a little bit more. I didn't even have to break into the other stuff, so something is going to pop somewhere. Alright, fine. You want to not go yet and just give me the warning signs? Ow! Oh my goodness! I'm gonna die!
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical. Temperature critical.
Ouch!
Tension low.
Go, 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 go!
Low pressure.
Okay. Alright. So, as you can see, that's what happens if you're not careful. If you leave stuff all over the floor and decompress your base, it's gonna act like bullets, and it's gonna tear you to shreds. Blowing out the door of the window of your base or whatnot will also smash you into things that you don't want to smash into. So we're gonna pull these guys out. I made sure that I prepped for something along this lines well in advance. So this guy here, now, if I had died, I would more than likely respawn with a suit. So, hi. And we'll just turn these guys on. That should be that way. Close that. There we go. Okay, so I'll say this. I have not yet died within this demonstration range. It's gotten cold in there. Alright, that's going to let me out. Let's go survey the damage now that we have a functioning suit. So,
Temperature low.
um,
Oxygen low.
did I not turn these on right? Okay, okay. So, this is just an indication of which way you're turning it. I do actually have it now at what is necessary, and thankfully, I set this up to where I can just cycle it and go in. Oh, wow. So, was there actually air pressure in here? Now, so as you can see, we blew out a wall panel. We blew out 2 windows. Just looking around, making sure there's not a third. We were able to keep some of our goods. So not everything went out into the wild blue yonder. I don't even know how far it went. It could have gone for miles for all I know. Ah, yep, see, there's some of it. And we're quite literally a few hundred meters away from the base. So, yeah, that's always a reason to be careful with your pressurizing. That doesn't look normal. Oh well, I'm not here about that. Now, what you would do to repair this. You would need iron walls in order to repair this, and some iron plates and glass sheets. And let's see, oh good, I still have my tools. So we're going to grab this guy out, and this guy is the authoring tool. He is strictly a creative item, but I'm only using creative to patch up the walls. So, wall, there we go. And we're going to grab this iron wall. Now, what you would do is use the angle grinder to pull these guys out. But since I'm not in that position right now, I'm just gonna. Okay, so. And boom. And boom, 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 boom. Alright, now, this room is actually repaired now. It will hold an atmosphere yet again. So, and now we could turn this guy on. And it works a lot slower than say tossing out ice or whatnot, but it is also a lot safer. This guy may not have enough in it to pressurize the room fully. We will find out in a moment. We're just going to let this run until it's done. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons you want to keep things reasonably tidy. You don't have to be perfect, but accidents happen. You're going to overpressurize something. You're going to cause something to explode. Any number of things. And the atmosphere escaping the room you're in is going to take everything in that room and relocate it outside. And since it's at high speed and it has mass, it's going to impact and hurt you. That actually totally and completely annihilated my suit, and I'm lucky that I got to the other room where I had my reserve stuff to be able to replace my suit. I'm really surprised it actually destroyed my suit outright, which, wow. But, so this is the safe way to do it. You might actually be able to fully fill the room with just this. I don't think so. I think I'm only going to get about halfway there. Um, to maybe 2/3 of the way there. So seven. It's either got 6 or 7 megapascals in it. Which might only be 40 to 60 or 60 to 70 kilopascals. I don't know for certain. I'm not really good with the math on this. Okay. Yeah, this isn't going to fill up the room, but the room now has enough atmosphere in it to be able to breathe and do things I need to do. So, with that, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, click that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And please consider subscribing. With that, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.